Hello, Max Persuasion community. I wanted to give you a quick personal hello. I'm sitting in the Rathaus Park, sandwiched between the Parliament Building and the Berg Theater in Vienna, Austria. I've been sitting and talking with Jared and Kenrick about a very fundamental principle of persuasion that major businesses use for big success. And we decided to create a case study just for you guys that shows real-world examples of how it's used. You know, because theory is nice, but actual application is everything. You're probably wondering who we are, though. I'm Amaya. I'm one of the members of Skythorn's Success Genetics team. Success Genetics is a term that was coined by our founder, Damien Rourke, to describe the genome or pattern of success that's found in high-performing businesses across every industry. We have studied dozens and dozens of different industries to find what those crucial fundamental patterns that have led to their success are, things that are time-tested, data-proven. And what we've done is we've actually successfully mapped those same patterns of behavior into other businesses around the world, our clients. So we're actually going to teach you something that we found is present in every business no matter what, and we're going to give you real-world examples of that. And the best part, this is free. We're not going to try to offer you or sell you something at the end. It's simple. If you want to talk, great. If not, that's okay too. And we're even going to send you a PDF with all this information, plus a few other things. So I'm sure you're ready to get started because I am. Thanks for joining us. All right, case study time, everyone's favorite time. We were going to try to record this while we were out walking around Vienna today. Unfortunately, I guess the weird heat wave we had here decided to disappear and it became very cold and windy. So I'm back in my apartment after finishing a very interesting interview with a special person for a top secret project we're working on with our favorite person in the world, Jared Eamon. But enough about that. I'm sure you're ready for me to get started and get on with this. So, without further ado, I'm going to set up some expectations for what you're going to find here. You're going to find by using this one persuasion principle in your business, you can captivate your perfect prospect with the information you share with them. Easily be seen as a trusted expert. Not only have the prospect answer your calls enthusiastically every time, but in many cases be so eager to talk with you that they call you first. You're going to build such a strong connection of trust that your prospect won't feel the need to find a second opinion or comparison shop. You're the absolute best solution for them. And you're going to create a deep hunger and rapport with your prospects so that they easily and happily pay whatever price is necessary for your product and service. I'm sure this all sounds too good to be true. I'm going to make it even better. This is a vital foundation to growing your business beyond the plateau you can't get past. And it doesn't require a bunch of training or memorization. So tell me, does this sound familiar? You've purchased several persuasion courses to help you improve your sales rates. You've learned some rapport building processes, persuasive scripting, and even some close tactics. But you still aren't finding the qualified clients and making the sales you wish and know you could. You've seen an improvement, but not as much as you wish, right? Of course you know that you aren't alone. You probably talk about these same problems with fellow professionals over a good glass of beer every week. So you have a decent client base and a thriving business, but you're ready to take it to the next level, and you're certain it can be achieved if you only knew what you could be doing better or differently. This case study is for you. There is indeed a secret that will help you jump from comfortably stagnant to rapidly growing a bigger, better business. And it's rooted in one of the same persuasion principles that you've been learning about. You just have to know how it's applied in a more systemized manner. The difference between businesses that get stuck at a low ceiling and businesses that practically can't stop growing is in the ability of the business to step into and shift the reality bubble of their target client. Does that sound like you, or does that sound kind of mystical and weird and you don't get it? It's okay, we're going to go over it in just a second. In this case study, we talk about the 3 vital steps to stepping into, merging, and seamlessly shifting the reality bubble of your target clientele in a systemized and, more importantly, data-proven manner. We'll also be giving you some of our own real-world case studies from real clients that we have, and we utilize this same principle with them as examples of what we're talking about in just a few minutes. But first, let's do a brief overview about what a reality bubble is in case you have forgotten or don't know, so you can understand how exactly this works. By the way, if you opt in, I'm sure there's a little pop-up that's appeared before you at some point. It's not necessary, but if you do opt in, we give you a much more in-depth explanation of reality bubbles and an example that's a little bit, I don't know, I think it's fun to apply to your business and your everyday life. It's pretty cool, so I suggest that you do it because there's other benefits to it too. So a reality bubble is everything that goes on inside your world that you interact with. It's your world, it's your life experience. Everyone has their own reality bubble. So if you go to an office job, then everything from what happens in the morning as you are getting ready to what the daily traffic is like, to each hour of your day at the office, to what happens when you get home at night, all make up your unique reality bubble. When we're trying to sell something to someone, we are in essence attempting to step into their unique reality bubble and persuade them to make our product or service a fixture on their walls, to merge our bubble with theirs. Take out a piece of paper because this is really important. This key point right here. Other people will only listen to your presentation of reality, such as a proposed alternate version of their reality with your product in it, as opposed to their current reality now without you in it, if they believe that you can see from and intimately understand their shoes from the beginning, that your reality bubble and theirs are very similar, that you have a lot in common. People only trust those who have similar reality bubbles. Everyone else causes suspicion. Because deep trust requires that you understand them and intimately know their pain. This is proven time and again in our consulting practice, which we'll get to in just a moment. We really want to paint a clear picture so you can understand what we're about to show you. We all know the cliche, walk a mile in someone's shoes. There's a lot of truth in that, but most marketers, salespeople, business people do this all wrong. This is the key. Just being able to describe the shoes isn't enough. You have to be able to describe the life, circumstance, problem, situation from the point of view of being in their shoes. Not from guessing, but from actually being in their shoes. It all comes down to knowledge versus experience. General vagueness versus detailed textures of reality. This is where almost all marketers, salespeople, and business owners go wrong. They try to fake empathy and understanding by describing a prospect's reality in very vague or cliche terms. This is and comes across like a cheap and offensive gimmick. It's a lazy shortcut. It's a fake reality bubble, and it doesn't work. Reality isn't vague. It's very specific. It's rich in detail. The sooner and more convincingly you can demonstrate a shared reality bubble, the better. You must be adept at easily and clearly discussing the specifics of a shared reality if you want to truly lead someone. You must know the finer textures of their reality, the subtle, almost imperceptible nuances that only someone on the inside would know. If you demonstrate this, they will gladly turn over their mental wheel to you. That's what happens when you read a book or watch a movie. If you demonstrate this, many people will turn over their entire lives to you. It's when you become a guru or an expert. And that's because people really do want to be led. But, and this is a big but, if you start in your landscape and try to force your reality bubble onto someone else's, then you'll only sell the statistical 1 out of 10. People who don't call you back, when you're sitting on cold calls, ads that don't work anymore that did 20 years ago. This is all signs of you trying to force your reality bubble or an old reality bubble onto someone else's. This is the plight of most marketers. Lazy, gimmicky tricks to try and force their message into the realities of other people. And it works 1 out of 10 times. That's not goods at all, especially when money and livelihood are on the line. Or, like our client examples, you're looking to double your sales results and grow your business. Everyone watching today, you want to increase your odds. Don't be 1 out of 10. These are tough times in business. People are suspicious, jaded, and protect their bubble walls as if they were Fort Knox. We don't want anyone coming in unless they're invited. They say, "Here are my circle of friends. Stay out, interloper. I'll come to you if I need you." For example, how many people tell you, "Oh, I'll call you back," and then they never do? This is a pretty common problem. Most people are impotent at communicating effectively with intention. They lack the ability to build a relationship, create a client, gain a loyal customer, and make someone feel comfortable. A great metaphor is to think in terms of how a man goes on a date versus how a woman goes on a date. A man goes on a date, sees what he wants, and makes a decision, and he wants to take immediate action, no details needed. A woman goes on a date, and she may think the man is handsome or intelligent, but does he care about her feelings? Do they have shared interests? Will he be there in the morning when she wakes up? When you don't share a reality bubble, it's much like trying to romance the average man. Dangle the obscure but decent looking carrot, and 1 out of 10 prospects take action. Only 1 out of 10 people are really that impulsive or decisive. But when you share a reality bubble, you're giving real romance, painting a reality for the prospect, much like what most women want from their dates. It's rich in detail, true empathy, and subtle shades of seduction. It takes a little more effort, but the close rate is exponentially higher, if you know what I'm saying. Which we'll give you a few real-world client examples of in just a moment. And by the way, if you have any questions, you don't have to want a huge consultation with us. Just drop us a line in our contact box and we'll definitely get back with you. If any of this is unclear, if you want to ask more about it, please feel free to reach out to us. Now, with the proper use of a shared reality bubble, you accomplish all of these things almost effortlessly. You're going to romance them. They're going to know that in the morning when they wake up, you'll be there with them. And you're going to know that too. How many of you have spent hours and hours with a prospect only to find out that they're unqualified, or to find out that they already have a provider? Like, you spend hours and hours seducing someone to find out that they're married. You need a shared reality bubble as much as your prospects do. It's what saves you money, time, and energy. It's what ensures that when you wake up in the morning, they'll still be your very devoted and loyal client. In order for your reality bubble wall to make contact and merge with your prospect's reality bubble, thereby having them accept you and your message into their thoughts as if they were their own, several things have to happen. If these things don't happen, your prospect won't believe that you truly understand their world. They will be suspicious of your messages and your bubble will not be accepted. And no, offering something for free as a bribe will never be nearly as effective as powerfully demonstrating a shared reality bubble. No hook can compete with the bond and common ground shared inside this deeper connection. Minds and hearts are seduced at this level. Lifelong customers and clients are made at this level. If I truly want to enter into a relationship at any level with a prospect, I first must enter their landscape and their reality before showing them something new. Only when I have entered into their reality does my message become accepted. Now you'll notice that your best and longest standing customers are the ones you have the most in common with. That's because your reality bubbles are easily shared and shifted. There was no scripting needed. No remembering the 10 steps to influencing someone's decision. There's no convoluted and complex language patterns that you have to struggle to remember. It was simply knowing their reality intimately so that you can seamlessly add something to it without causing their internal alarms to sound off. Now, the good news, even if the people you want as clients aren't necessarily someone you'd be best friends with, understanding their reality bubble can still be achieved if you know how. And like we said at the beginning of this, you'll find that when you have a strongly shared reality bubble, you're able to captivate your perfect prospect with the information you share with them, easily be seen as a trusted expert. Not only have the prospect answer your calls enthusiastically every time, but in many cases, they'll be so eager to talk with you that they call you first. Build such a strong connection of trust that your prospect won't feel the need to find a second opinion or comparison shop. You're the absolute best solution for them. And create a deep hunger and rapport with your prospects so that they easily and happily pay whatever price is necessary for your product and service. If you don't have a strongly shared reality bubble, you'll find that, and a lot of these may be familiar, which I'm sorry for because it's very painful. You're going to spend countless hours trying to persuade a prospect only to find out that they weren't qualified to begin with. Or in some cases, they already have a provider that they like more. You're going to be trying to get a call back which will be like pulling teeth. And the prospect certainly won't reach out to you first. Basically, trying to get contact with them at all is going to be impossible. If someone has interest, it's also going to be mixed with hesitation, often leading to them looking for a second opinion or to continue shopping, comparison shopping, so to speak. This is usually because some kind of alarm has sounded off. The reality bubble wasn't complete enough for them. After the prospect gives you a very timid yes, you'll find it's difficult to collect the money that's due. That's because they're very hesitant to hand it over because but several things may be missing from that reality bubble that makes them easily, comfortably, wonderfully just say, please take my money. Now, there are 3 vital steps to merging with and then shifting someone's reality bubble so that they easily and quickly give you the yes you're looking for. And I'm going to give you real client examples for each step right now. I know you've been waiting, so that you can understand how to apply this in a real world context. Because it's all fun and games to talk about theory, but without application, it doesn't really help your business. And again, if you have questions or you want more clarity or you want more details, please just click on the little button at the bottom and fill out our consultation page. It really is just a contact page. There's no pressure, no obligation. I really do want to just help you. If you have questions at all, I'm happy to email you back. Now, step number 1, precision targeting. What bubble do you want to merge with? Consider right now how much of your time is eaten up by talking with unqualified leads. It's frustrating to lose that time you can never get back, isn't it? Your time is much more valuable, and there are certainly qualified and hungry people who need what you have to offer. When this happens, it's because targeting isn't precise, and thankfully, that can be changed. And once a target has been precisely identified, you can move on to step number 2. Let's take a look at a real life example. We had a local Texas personal fitness trainer. He was promoting to get registrants for an upcoming seminar and training clients for his 90-day fitness challenge. Before he came to us, he was paying $1.60 per click on Facebook and getting a 0.05% click-through rate. This is pretty dismal, especially because Facebook usually doesn't cost that much per click unless you're in a highly competitive market or you're targeting wrong. He also had recently spent $1,000 on a local magazine ad for his seminar, which for him was a big deal because he was not a huge personal trainer. He was just getting started, brand new business. And it only brought in a total of 3 registrants. That means it cost him $330 or $333 per registrant. To some businesses, that may seem like a small amount of money to spend on a lead, but for our fitness expert, this was way too much to spend on leads. And let's face it, all of us want to lower our cost per lead, no matter what business you're in or how big you are. If there was ever a sign of not having a precise target, this would be it. If you don't know what reality bubble you're trying to merge with, it's going to be very costly and eat up your time. Naturally, he was frustrated at the amount of time, money, and energy he was wasting. And he also had a current social media expert, and that person was just adding new likes to his Facebook page and costing him $400 per month in advertising. But none of those likes, not a single one of them, converted into personal training clients or seminar registrants. This is also a sign of poor targeting. If you actually have a Facebook page and it doesn't have good activity, or the likes aren't converting to action, they're not clicking like on the actual post you put, or commenting or sharing or clicking through, it's a total waste of your time. With barely a month left before the launch of his seminar and his 90-day challenge, he had no idea what he was going to do to fill seats and acquire new clients. When he came to us, he was at his wit's end. So the team here at Skythorn came in and we used our principle of reality bubbles, our expertise and our experience to retarget his ads. When looking at the targeting information available to us, we found the precise way to rewrite the ads from scratch so it would better speak to the reality of who he wanted as a client. And that's a big deal because if your ads aren't really well targeted, and I'm not just talking about choosing a demographic, I'm talking about what images you use, what words you use, it's going to cost you a lot of money and get you very little results. Thankfully, with retargeting, rewriting, and all this, within 10 days of starting our new improved campaign, we brought his click-through rate from a very low 0.05% up to a rare and impressive 8.824%. In fact, most clients that we know are thrilled to even get 2 to 4% as a click-through rate. Now, what was even more impressive was we also brought his cost per click from $1.60 down to an almost unheard of 15 cents per click. We also implemented a custom client acquisition sales funnel, which we'll get into a little later, that when combined with this highly targeted, well-written ad, brought in a total of nearly 100 highly qualified leads for his coaching and seminar. They gave their full name, address, age, and phone number. All of them were legit. No dummies. In fact, he was so unprepared for this, we had to turn off the ad campaign because he couldn't keep up with the phone calls. As a result of these combined measures, he experienced a 600% increase in ROI from his previous marketing methods. With traditional ads, he spent $1,000 to acquire 3 signups over a period of more than a month. With our Facebook ads, rewriting them, retargeting them, he spent $900 and acquired 18 paying seminar signups in only 10 days and multiple new training clients. He averaged about $50 per registered paying attendee with properly targeted and written online ads. That's pretty big when you consider the difference of what he was paying, which was $333 per lead. This is the difference of precise targeting, precision targeting, your reality bubble that you want to go after. As we talked about earlier, you cannot make a vague bubble. This means you can't be all things to all people, or you're going to be nothing to no one. And in the end, that costs you a lot of money. All right, step number 2, mirror your prospect's reality. So you've identified your target with precision. Now it's time to dig deep and mirror their reality. And we aren't talking about cheap mirroring. We know that if you've learned some persuasion or NLP type skills, that you've seen this before. Mirror people's language and their body. The problem is that people have a BS meter inside of them. This is slightly more effective than what you could otherwise be doing, but genuine mirroring out of true interest for your prospect's well-being is what makes all the difference in how effective this could be. Remember, no vague or fake bubbles. Write it down. It's a rule. No more being vague, no more being fake. Get to really know them. Now, once upon a time, there was a great marketer who said he wanted to know every detail of his client's reality, down to the cereal they ate in the morning and what their favorite t-shirt was. This may seem silly, but details create the reality of your target client. You need to know the details in order to mirror, merge, and shift their reality bubble. And we have some uncomfortable news for you. If you've reached a wall you can't seem to climb when it comes to your close rate, it's because you don't know your client's reality nearly as well as you think you do. Yes, even if you've been doing this for 20 years, it's time to re-examine what is important to them, what their fears are, what their hopes are, what they wake up and eat in the morning. You cannot mirror what you don't know. If you skip this step, you might as well stop watching right now, because it's the difference between those who own a yacht and those who are lucky if they get to vacation once a year. Now, for an example, we had a client named Glass.net. They got caught in the same trap most business owners do. Actually, what happened is they acquired a website that had been built years ago. And when it was done, the original owners moved on to something else rather than testing and tweaking every aspect to see if they could increase the conversions. This is imperative for properly mirroring into the reality of your client if you're online. This includes where their eye is drawn, positioning elements on a page, the words they use, the colors they respond to, and so much more. That's the reality of someone online. Properly merging realities will help you preemptively overcome their objections, create a seal of trust, set specific expectations, create hunger in your prospect, and so much more. And guess what? This is rarely done by simply throwing up a website and leaving it just as it is. Data from your site visitors, if you have some, tell you a very vivid story of how well you're speaking to the reality of your prospect. Your website is the main and sometimes the only interface between you and your audience. So don't leave it to chance and hope that it converts. The most successful business owners are those that test everything for themselves or have a team that tests everything for them all the time. Be one of those people. Now, what did we do to fix this? What we did is we made small yet high impact changes to the homepage based on the visitor behavior, desires, and needs to increase the conversion rate, reduced friction and anxiety of those who visited the website, lowered the bounce rate to improve the SEO, and increased the confidence in their visitors. How did we do this? Little changes here and there, as I said. We did this by updating their text, layout, and buttons. And not in a giant way, but again, subtle, small ways that help make a huge difference. Now, this may seem really silly, but this is a part of their reality, guys. Where are their eyes landing? What does the button text inspire them to do? How something converts will tell you directly how well you've mirrored their reality and made them comfortable and trusting of what you're offering. So we added security seals and a privacy notice beneath the quote button because we found many people hovering around that area but not taking action. What was causing them to hesitate? Probably because they didn't know if their information was safe or not. We also placed relevant, well-placed testimonials, somewhere where people would notice it, to show social proof that they were trustworthy and offered excellent service. We rounded this all out with stronger and more clear headlines and supporting, benefit-driven bullet points that spoke to the concerns and convenience of their target prospect. We also tested various call-to-action text, button colors and size, as well as other factors and elements that might help visitors feel more compelled to fill out the form and complete the process. This was all done to more effectively mirror, merge, and then shift the reality of the site visitor. This also would inadvertently aid in decreasing the bounce rate for Glass.net by increasing the amount of time spent on page. Turns out that Google really likes it when you give your clients the reality they crave and respond to. Who'd have thunk it? Now, we don't have time to go through all the details of what we did for them in this video, but if you've already opted in like I suggested earlier, you can get every detail step by step and why we did what we did for them, along with future success genetics case studies exclusive for people who join the Skythorn family. And believe me, you'll want to know the details of this particular case study because as a result, this gave Glass.net their first record-breaking high month of sales since purchasing the company. Step number 3, flip the switch. Now imagine bringing prospects to you rather than chasing them down. I know that seems crazy, but I'm even going to take it a step further. Imagine that this could be done like flipping a switch on and off. Guess what? If you know the reality of your customer, you'll know exactly where to find them, how to get their attention, and how to lead them to you. We're not talking about networking events. Successful businesses do this with their marketing, usually online. They know the exact hot spots that their highly qualified clientele is waiting, searching, and hoping for them. And they know how to lead them with absolute ease into taking action. This is the final step in shifting the reality bubble. Here are a couple of examples of how you can start to flip the switch and what some of the side benefits to doing that are. Now, there are usually 2 areas that most businesses struggle with the most that are primo flip the switch opportunities. The first is education. Let's face it, most clients need to be told why you're important to their lives. Unfortunately, even the most seasoned businesses go about this the wrong way. Instead of looking at the exact questions, concerns, wishes, and desires that the client has, and speaking in the prospect's language, many businesses will write from their own viewpoint. This is a problem because this is what you think is important and not what your prospect thinks is important 99.9% of the time. On top of that, it really does take a lot of your time to educate a prospect directly, does it not? And time is money. Better hope that the prospect pans out or you just wasted several precious hours of your life for nothing. The second area is follow-up. We already know you're cringing. How many people do you forget to call or email back? Or how many times do you give up after only following up once and being met with a message machine? Or being promised by a prospect that they'll call you back by a certain date and they fall through? This is truly unfortunate because most prospects need 12 to 20 touches before they make a purchase decision. Unless you're a reality bubble ninja, then it'll take somewhere between 1 and 3. Again, you run into the issue of time on top of priorities. Is it always your priority to reach out to that prospect 12 times? Not if it adds up to nothing. So the solution to both of these challenges is to automate or flip the switch of both of these vital steps in the sales process. This is something we did for both our fitness client and for Glass.net. And as a consequence, it happened to merge reality bubbles without having the business owners actively participating. Wouldn't that be nice? For Glass, it was an issue of education. Several people had important questions like if their insurance covered their windshield replacement or why the quote was sometimes different than the final price. We researched the biggest concerns of prospective clients and then created individual YouTube videos that could be placed on highly SEO'd pages of their website. That way, when someone researched the question, it would immediately pop up in their search engine. With Glass.net answering the question with the highest quality, it helped build a bridge of trust and curiosity with the prospect, leading them to redeeming their free quotes. This is one way we help to flip the switch in an important part of the sales process by being preemptive about the concerns that a prospective client might have. Now, for our fitness client, it really was a matter of follow-up. After all, we started that ad campaign and he could barely keep up with the phone calls from the prospects, let alone remember to call them back or send them a quick email. It was imperative that he come up with a follow-up process really quickly or he was going to miss out on vital sales opportunities. That's why we created a set of staggered, automated email follow-ups, all based on the questions, concerns, and hopes of his prospects. This helped to establish a dependable and deeper rapport with them while they considered whether they wanted to attend a seminar or become a training client of his. Now, this also helped our fitness client manage his time and eliminate mistakes that would otherwise be due to him just being busy. The purpose of the emails was to merge and shift their reality bubble in such a way that by the time the prospect had read them, they felt like they had known the fitness expert for years. This made a huge impact on the number of new training clients he had paying for his services in the coming weeks. Because, as we're sure you know, people want to give business to people that they really know. So as a result of flipping the switch for these two companies, Glass.net has enjoyed the SEO boost from the many new YouTube videos and content pages on their site. Because these are questions being answered, the pressure that a prospect would otherwise feel in a direct sales situation is pretty much eliminated. This very consistently leads to the prospect clicking through for their free quotes. Now, our fitness client enjoyed the ripple effect of gradual, consistent, and effortless rapport building with his prospects. Previously, it took him several phone calls for someone to choose him as their personal trainer. With this automated system in place, our fitness client cut the number of phone calls in his sales process to 1/3 of what he previously had to experience, and also increased his conversion rate exponentially. It turns out his prospects love the convenience and personality of the follow-up emails better than getting on time-consuming phone calls. The moral of the story? Automation isn't just a pipe dream you hope you'll one day have for the sake of saving time. Your prospects want you to make this more convenient and easy for them, too. They don't want to wait for you to remember to email them. Many times, they don't want to spend their time on the phone with you any more than you do with them, especially at the beginning. After you've actually built a bridge of trust with them, then they'll be knocking down your door. But in the meantime, make it easy for both of you. Now, by making something convenient and consistent, you're helping your prospect relax and subtly shift realities to include you without sounding off the alarms in their heads. And you can reach way more people when you flip the switch than you will trying to do this all on your own. If anything else, if you botched this up really bad, you'd at least have the law of numbers on your side because you can email a lot more people in an automated system than you can call them up individually. Now, let's say that you did this perfectly. You still have that law of numbers on your side. Plus, you have the simple persuasion principle of meeting them in their reality, gaining their trust and desire for your advice, your product, your service, etc., and shifting into it. It's pretty powerful. Are you overwhelmed a little? I don't blame you. Like I said at the beginning, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, we're going to send you the recording to this and a PDF that you can read as many times as you need to. The good news is that most moderately successful businesses have the foundations of these 3 steps already in place. They just need a simple tune-up to break through their sales plateau. Chances are, if you're already moderately successful, you're probably wondering how in the world you're going to fit this into your busy schedule. So here's what we have to say. If you have a team, please pass this video, the PDF, and all the subsequent emails that you'll be receiving right on to them. Make this a part of their training. Tell them it's required or you'll sick the flying monkeys on them. Whatever it takes. We're so serious when we say that nothing could be more vital to your business. It will be the game changer for you. On the other hand, if you clearly see that you need to implement this in your business and don't know how to do it, nor have the time or energy to undertake this all on your own, then get in touch with us using the free consult link below. In fact, if you have questions, get in touch with us in the free consult link below. I personally will chat with you about what's going on in your business and what you hope to accomplish. There's no obligation of any kind, and I promise that you won't be pressured to buy anything. It's our policy that we really want to know your reality bubble before we ever suggest anything else. If after talking over what your problems are, and we all feel that working together makes the most sense, we can take it from there. But if not, hey, at least we got to enjoy a friendly chat together about your business. And if you have any problems going on with other parts of your business, include those in your contact info as well. We really are here to help. So, to do the fastest wrap up of all time, because I know you opted in so you could get the recording and your PDF, and the step-by-step Glass.net case study, and other future case studies. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer. Go opt in right now. This is the most persuasive thing you can do in your sales process. Understand and mirror the reality of your prospect. Precision target. Choose what bubble you want to merge with. You can't be all things to all people, or you'll be nothing to no one. Get specific, choose your niche. Mirror their reality. Don't do it cheap, don't do it vague. Really put thought and research into this from their perspective. This is more than just talking to someone. This is for any part of your business that a prospect interacts with, online, offline, you name it. Flip the switch. Automate repetitious portions of your sales process so that you don't break the merging of the reality bubble because you lost track of time, forgot to get back with someone, or they don't respond immediately. And last reminder, opt in to get more juicy goodness that you can help your business grow past that annoying plateau. Questions, comments, want to hang out, want to talk about Vienna? Contact us. I'm serious. Now get to cracking on your reality bubble ninja skills. Ciao.